been in the backstage waiting patiently. It's Chris Egan from King 5, his Friday weekly visit, all brought to you by Fat Zach's Pizza. 3 locations in Sumner, Puyallup, and South Hill, home of the original No Big Deal Pickle Pizza. Book one of their 3 food trucks for catering, birthday parties, graduations, corporate events. Find Fat Zach's Pizza on Facebook, Instagram, and fatzachspizza.com. Follow Chris on Twitter and Instagram, Chris Egan 5. All of his work up at king5.com. You know what we need? We need a voicemailer on Friday voicemails to do a Chris Egan. That's what we need. I need a Chris Egan. Always positive, you know, except when he's coaching youth sports, and then he doesn't become positive Chris anymore because it becomes angry Chris.
No anger here, Puck. 23 years of youth coaching, same demeanor, wins and losses. Maybe the post-game speech is a little different after a loss with the kids, but same demeanor. Get along with all the officials, except weren't
you thrown out of a game one time?
Long time ago. There was blood on the court. There was blood on the court, and the foul was not called. And I pointed out all the blood and said, how can we not call a foul? Maz Vida, I love him to death, but he called a 3 seconds in the key faster than 2 seconds. So I'm not quite sure on that call this past weekend, but I'm moving forward.
Is Maz Vida, Maz Vida still officiating?
He is officiating. Yes,
good
he
for
is
him.
Officiating, and he probably called the fastest 3 in the key I've ever seen in my life. But you know what? I still love him. Love him.
Hey, is Rod Marr still officiating? People that don't know, Rod Marr is the official photographer, or one of them. I think he still is, of the Seahawks.
He is one of the best officials. Yeah, he does a lot of the Kingco games, a lot of the Metro games. So he's definitely one of the best in there. And here we go, Puck. I heard you and Jim talking about Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul. And, I mean, this is what I ran a basketball practice last night, and I have 8th graders. So these are 13, 14-year-olds. They're all talking about the fight.
Yeah.
And here's Mike Tyson. Think about this. I mean, the longevity of what he has done, his popularity. I go back to the year 1987, Edgemont Junior High. Two of my buddies, Puckett, went missing for a week. They did not show up to Edgemont Junior High. Nobody knew where they were at. And they were missing practices. They were missing school. People thought they were sick. People thought they disappeared. You want to know where they were, Puck?
Where?
They were in their basement with their shag carpet playing Mike Tyson Punch-Out. And they weren't going to leave until they defeated Mike Tyson. They wanted to go through Glass Joe. They wanted to go through Von Kaiser, Piston Hondo, Don Flamenco, King Hippo. I mean, and the Great Tiger, Bald Bull.
I'm just pulling up all the characters, and you're naming them all. God, those were the best.
Man, Macho Man. And then you get all the way to the finals, and you got to face Tyson. And these guys were not coming back to Edgemont Junior High until they defeated Mike Tyson.
Did you mention Piston Hurricane?
Is it Piston Hurricane or Piston Hondo? I feel like that character switched at some point.
It might have been. Yeah, might have. God, that was a great game. I remember, and then you'd be tired. You'd be tired, you'd be tired. You're like, oh, it was the best.
You're hitting your Nintendo. I mean, I think honestly it was one of the greatest video games of all time. Yeah. I'd love to know people's reaction on that. And here we go. And I have 2 points on this boxing bout tonight. There's part of me that's nervous. There's part of me that remembers the great Mike Tyson, all the incredible knockouts, just how stellar he was in the boxing ring. And I'm also nervous that he's going to get embarrassed tonight. There's part of me that okay, here's this guy I love so much, and I don't want to see him get embarrassed. Then there's the part of me, Puck, that thinks of myself when I step on a pickleball court. 51 years of age.
Same.
And I get these young bucks, these 18, 19, 20, 21-year-olds that all come on there. They got spandex on. They look like they're Division I athletes, and they think they're just going to destroy me. The veteran, the person that's been there finds a way and gets the victory. And that's what I do. And so I'm thinking, you know what? Tyson has that. He has a little boxing knowledge, and little Jake Paul, doesn't have that experience. So hopefully Tyson could just land a big, knock him out already. That's what I
want him to kick his ass. I want Tyson to kill him.
I do too. I don't know if I'm going that far.
Well, you know what I mean by kill him. I'm not. I'm not. I don't want him to actually die in the ring, Chris.
You don't want to see an Apollo. You don't want to see an Apollo Creed drop the towel moment on live TV tonight on Netflix.
Yeah,
no,
he's a professional. This guy's not. I mean, I know he's been boxing and doing all this stuff, and he trains and he's big and all that. He's a YouTuber.
Yeah,
come on, this guy.
Take the YouTuber down.
Yeah.
No, and I'm excited. I know there's some people out there, Puck, that I don't want to even talk about it. I don't care about it. This is fun. I mean, you got junior high kids, high school kids, and then you got 50-year-olds like you and I talking about it. So it's one of those. It's just a great sporting event because everybody's thinking about it.
Well, it's a perfect blend for our age group because we remember Tyson, and then it's a perfect for your age group, like your son and my son, who's 11. They all know Jake Paul. I mean, my son used to had a cardboard cutout of Jake Paul because he used to drink Prime every day. Yeah. And so he would go to the local. We have a little bodega corner store by our house. And he went there so much that and his buddies went there so much to get Prime that Prime, they're like, oh my God, you guys are selling out so much stuff. So, the distributor was like, here's like all this free stuff. And he handed it out to all the kids because they're like, you guys are you're buying so much of this. They don't drink it so much anymore. So they're into it because they're into Jake Paul.
And the only thing I regret when I hear about Jake Paul and Logan Paul is that Puckett, too bad there was no YouTube or TikTok when you and I were in high school and junior high. And too bad you and I didn't go to the same junior high and high school because we'd be billionaires because we would have done this a long time ago. I mean, we could have acted like idiots every day after school, riding our BMX bikes through the trails, taking jumps, doing all that because that's what we did, but we just didn't video it. So unfortunately,
well, it's kind of hard to have the big camcorder on your shoulder.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and then you got the VHS tape down here, and then you got to go VHS to VHS editing, which was not easy, but just too bad, Puck. You and I, we could have found Uncle Jim Moore out there. He could have helped out the show as well. We'd be billionaires.
We would. We've missed our calling. Hey, what'd you make of the big news this week? Came out yesterday. Simsy, Dave Sims, leaving Seattle and headed to New York City. For people who don't know, is the new radio voice at WFAN for the Yankees.
In two-part on this one. Dave has always been great to me, great guy, brings a lot of energy to the game. And good for the Yankees, good for Dave. This is a huge opportunity for him to be broadcasting, arguably one of the greatest organizations of all time, the New York Yankees. I mean, what a step up for him. We're going to miss him in Seattle. But then, and I love Dave, and I think he's done a great job for the past 20 years. But then I heard some people like comparing him to Dave Niehaus, and I'm like, ooh, yeah, I think Dave Sims is great. But for me, Puckett, when you talk about Seattle sports, there's a 1 and there's a 2. There's Dave Niehaus and there's Kevin Calabro, and everybody else kind of falls under those two, in my opinion. I mean, I've listened, I've watched a lot of sports over the years, and I think, for my money, I think Dave Niehaus was the greatest painting a picture broadcaster for local of all time. And then for me, Kevin Calabro, loved his energy, but I loved his ability to ad lib and just create moments and also paint that picture at the same time, and just the phrases that he came up with. I mean, there's so many broadcasters, and you hear them kind of using the same phrase over and over and over again, which is great. But, I mean, Calabro could go a month, and you would hear just so many different phrases for him. So and this is not a knock on Dave. This is just a compliment that when you're talking Seattle sports, in my mind, it's Niehaus, Calabro, and then there's a bunch of great broadcasters and play-by-play people, but those are the 1 and 2 in my opinion.
I would go. I usually got to do a top 5, right? Niehaus, Calabro, probably go Rondo, Pete Gross.
Yeah, I didn't listen to a lot of Pete Gross back then, so I can't. I mean, I've heard he was phenomenal.
Touchdown Seahawks! Oh God, it was just Craig DeLarge, touchdown Seahawks! Oh, it was the best. He was so good. He was so good. 5th one. Now I'm just trying to. Got to give me a second on that one.
Yeah. I mean, I don't consider Keith Jackson a local because he did national games, so he never had a local team. So I've never considered Keith Jackson, even
Matt,
though,
what about Matt Stretch Johnson, early Sounders?
early Sounders. I mean,
Shout
you know
out to
what?
Stretch.
Right there. I mean, you nailed it. You went Sounders, and I think we did have them for a few years. You've got to put them in the top 5. Arlo White.
Arlo White was real good. He was real good.
We saw Arlo and Ted Lasso, and Arlo was kind of where he got his feet wet.
Yeah.
In Seattle with the Sounders organization. Then he got that big contract. I think it was with NBC doing the primetime European game. So,
I guess you have to.
Arlo was one of the best in the business for soccer.
I think you have to throw in. Oh God, why am I blanking on his name? God darn it. Bob Blackburn, thank you.
Dick Fain. Oh, Bob Blackburn.
No, yeah, Dick Fain, Storm Games. Steve Sandmeyer, University of Washington women's basketball.
Yeah. David Locke, did he do Storm games too, or was he?
David Locke did some Storm, and then did when the Sonics went over to the Truth. He did a little bit of that. Bob? I mean, we're forgetting Bob Blackburn.
Yeah, Bob Blackburn, obviously. That was the old school days of just.
I don't remember him as much just because it wasn't, but I mean, I do remember him, but I was more of Calabro. And the thing with Calabro was he was the perfect announcer for that team.
For that, 100%.
You know what I mean? For that team, that era, that the scene in Seattle, it was in your face. It was loud, right? The music scene, the culture scene. And then that basketball team was loud in your face, and then you had the perfect broadcaster for that, along with Marcus Johnson.
And to compliment back to the original, why we started talking about this, Dave Sims. Dave Sims can do baseball, and Dave Sims, if you listen, can also do football, and he does it very well.
Yeah.
Calabro showed us that many of these play-by-play announcers are built just for that sport. And you said Calabro was perfect for the NBA, perfect for the Sonics, and perfect for the Blazers. You remember when the Sounders went to the MLS, they tried to have Calabro do the Sounders that first year, and soccer fans weren't having it. No, it's just different.
That's a hard sport to do. And especially if you don't know it. And, that's a hard one to do, a really, really hard one to do. And I agree with you, Sims.
Go ahead. But I was going to say the Kraken have a pretty good crew going on right now, too, though. I'm enjoying watching them.
Well, Forsland does a great job.
Yeah.
Fitzy does a great job. I mean, Forsland's great. I would go back, go catch Furness, do some hockey.
Little Portland Winterhawks.
Just the T-Birds. He's done a little hockey play-by-play on the radio. Furness is really good at it, really good. But yeah, the era that you brought out though, or the era you talked about, it was just the freaking golden age, man.
Yeah.
It was.
Well, and our blessings, thoughts, and prayers to Wheeler. One of the down south, go down to Rip City Land. I mean, they don't get much better than that as well. So,
and the thing about him, and I talked about him this week, Chris, is that when I went to work down there, like he befriended me, kind of took me under his wing and all that. He was a great mentor to me when I was working down there. But you don't realize, and I didn't realize it at the time. I didn't realize the impact like Bill Schonely was in that market until I moved there, until I worked in there. And then you realize how, he's beloved. He's their knee house. Yeah. And Wheeler came in there and not better. I mean, you have your choices who you like, but he became like almost as popular. He was so good. He was such a great broadcaster.
Yeah, no, he was. And, we mentioned Niehaus, and Rick Riz has done a phenomenal job.
Riz great.
Behind Niehaus. My favorite Dave Niehaus story, Puck, is interning with Rod Simons. Rod takes me to the Kingdom for a Mariners game, and Rod's off doing something. He says, Egan, just go grab a hot dog or something. And back in the old Kingdom days, they just had the hot dogs that were on the spinning wheel for the media. And they were, how they have them at 7-Eleven. And
I love them.
They're rolling. And so I go over there before the game, and I'm grabbing a hot dog, and it's Niehaus comes up to me. And I'm like, oh, this is awesome. I get to meet Dave Niehaus. Sean, why don't you put me up two together, a little mustard and ketchup on the side there, if you don't mind. I'm like, what am I, the hot dog guy? So sure enough, I'm like, I'm not going to say no. So I
freaking Dave Niehaus.
It's Dave Niehaus. Here we go, Dave. Thank you, son. And you didn't leave me a tip at all, but that was my first encounter with Dave Niehaus.
God, I used to love going down to spring training. We would sit in Ron Spellis's office. Remember old Ron Spellis?
Oh,
He was
yeah.
the traveling secretary for the Mariners. First of all, he was a great comedian. Dave Niehaus had some of the best jokes, but they weren't PG.
No.
Jesus, man. It was so good to sit here and have him tell jokes. And the two greatest calls, like everybody will say, the 95 it just continues is his greatest call. I disagree. I think there's two better. One took place in a spring training game. Do you remember? And I'm blanking on the pitcher. It was a big Dominican or Cuban pitcher that we used to have.
Is this where he mispronounced his name bad?
No, but he threw a slider, the diabolical slider, and he goes, the stank. And I
do remember that.
And God, why am I blanking on who that was? He went pitched for the Yankees and got in trouble putting all the crap on his hat. Someone's going to come up with a name in the chat and will tell me. But I just loved all the diabolical slider, all the stank, and the way that he said the stank and how he described it was so good. And then the other one, if you go back, I want to say it's 95. Actually, no, it's not 95. It's Randy Johnson. It's either I'm getting too old. Randy Johnson either throwing his first no-hitter or it's that season. And if you remember, I think it's against the Angels, and he has the line right before Johnson delivers the fastball, and he goes, "Branding iron hot." And just the description you think of a branding iron being hot and Randy Johnson's fastball.
Yeah.
Come on, man. That's poetry.
And Niehaus and Calabro would do that every game. They would come up with something like that, which is just, it's just those little, I know Rabel's got his holy catfish and things like that, but it was like, I still remember Calabro talking about channeling UFOs when Ray Allen got hot one game and was hitting all these 3-pointers. And it was just those, I don't know, those are special moments. I think those two, in my mind, are the best. Dave Sims, we wish you nothing but the best in New York. Good luck to you. And now, it's going to be interesting to see where Kevin Martinez goes. I know Jason Puckett may be hot on his list. You got to get somebody.
I can guarantee you, no.
You don't think that's happening? Okay.
Michael Pineda was the pitcher.
Pineda.
Yeah. Oh, the stank.
I remember him. Yes, big guy.
Yeah, I would just, I think Jim said, have Goldie and the Hyphen do some of the games, do the majority of the TV.
Smith?
Yeah, okay. And I mean, put Kruger in there. I love Angie as an analyst. I'd like to see Angie get some calls. They're doing the baseball analyst role. Maybe throw Brad in there on some TV games. I mean, he doesn't work at all, and he earns a big salary, and he needs to work more.
And his hair looks good. His hair
looks good.
Always perfect.
So throw Brad in there, and then the radio side up, you got Riz, and I don't know how much longer Riz is going to do it. Gary Hill is a fabulous broadcaster. I'm not just saying that because he's a proud graduate of the Murrow School of Communication, but I will advocate for Gary Hill to get more games on the radio because I just think he's fabulous at what he does. And when he and Goldie do games together on the radio, it's perfect. They're so good together.
Gary Hill is very good, and he's a person I need to get to know because I just don't know Gary that well. And I want to this year, 2025, one of my small goals, get to know Gary Hill a little bit more because I
that's your New Year's resolution?
Yeah, it's one of them. I mean, I do think he is fascinating. I do love listening to him. I think he does a great job. Yeah.
And I don't know what the situation with Blowers is. I know he missed some time, last year. So maybe Blowers comes back. I hope he comes back. And but yeah, I don't know. Someone's asking what's his situation. I'm not sure. So, all right, we got Huskies tonight. Apparently, it's a Warcraft game against UCLA.
Yeah,
dorks.
I don't know what that means. Yeah, I mean, is that like a video game thing?
Yeah, it's a video game.
Okay, it's not Mike Tyson Punch-Out, Puck.
It's no Mike Tyson Punch-Out.
But you segue, Puck, you mentioned the Huskies. You're wearing the Cougs hat, and I'm going to strike a nerve.
America's team.
I'm going to strike a nerve with America's team. All right, I'm just going to say it. I have to say it because I live it, Puck. I'm a proud PLU Lou. So you could say I'm Switzerland when it comes to the Cougars and the Huskies. I'm excited for both of them. I have a lot of Cougar friends. I have a lot of Husky friends. I had a daughter that went to Wazoo for a little while. I had a scholarship offer to Wazoo. I've got relatives that went to Wazoo. I have a big brother that went to UW, was the student body president there, was the head of the alumni. So I've got a lot of friends and family on both sides of this one, Puck. And recently, Puck, I've been noticing this. I feel like it's a bad trend. A lot of the Cougar friends of mine are coming up to me, and they just keep saying this. I bet you the Huskies feel bad about leaving the Pac-12. And I'm like, maybe. Huskies down 11 against SPU. I bet you they feel bad about leaving the Pac-12. And then it just – this is not from one or two. This is from like 20 to 25 different Cougar fans. And you know what I'm not getting, Puck, is I'm not getting UW saying, hey, what do you think about Wazoo? Hey, So here's the thing. It's the relationship it's divorced, okay? You got one member of the relationship. Hey, Chris, have you seen how's she looking? Is she doing okay? Is she dating anybody? I'm a little worried that she's with that guy now. And meanwhile, you got the gal that doesn't mention him at all. So what I'm saying to Cougar fans, stop worrying. Stop worrying about the Huskies. Enjoy your success. Enjoy your success. Don't waste your time worrying about the Huskies leaving the Pac-12. Savor the victory. Savor your football team. Savor your basketball team. You're too worried about the purple and the gold. Let them worry about themselves, Cougar Nation. Let them worry about themselves.
We are fired up for where we're at, but we're also taking great joy in their demise. You can have it both. Yeah, no.
Puck, that's what's wrong right now. They're too worried about everybody else.
No,
enjoy your success.
We are enjoying our success, but the thing that it's just the icing on top of the success this year is watching them complain about 9 a.m. kickoffs, watching them and listening to them complain about traveling. What about the kids? You fucking signed up for it. You signed up for it. This is what you get. You get all of it. I want them to wear it all year long. And I love the complaining. I love all the complaining every week. Oh, God, poor Jed Fish. He didn't have his own players and the portal and boo-hoo. This is what you wanted. You got what you asked for. You're not going to be down probably forever. I was pulling like hell for SPU. I damn near signed up for the stupid Big Ten stream just to see him lose. But I didn't do it. I want him to burn in hell.
Did you think about that, Puckett, during that game? Because I was watching it at King 5. I was anchoring that night.
How did you watch it? You guys signed up for it?
Yeah, we have it at King 5. Okay. We got all these satellite. We've got satellite dishes here, there. They're bringing things in. So I'm watching the game. And SPU, by the way, credit to this, they lost a lot of their good players, including my new son-in-law, who's now playing at Point Loma. He was a SPU Falcon, right. Zach Paulson. And I think they lost their point guard, and their leading scorer is now playing in Europe. They were 0-3, but, they credit this team to go into the UW up 11 at halftime. Puckett, how many UW boosters right there are like, how much money have we paid
I'd like to know the booster that watched that game who had to fork over $3 million for that one dude going, what did we pay him $3 million for?
Yeah. Well, there's a couple other players in there that are making some pretty good money as well in that UW roster.
Yeah, so. No. I want him to. You know what? You don't get it. Who's your big rival at PLU?
Well, the UPS Loggers.
Okay, the Loggers. You want the Loggers to lose at everything. I want them to lose at everything.
That's not the Frosty way, Puck. That's not the Frosty way. That's not the Frosty way. Worry about yourself. Look yourself in the mirror. Look in the mirror. Take care of yourself. Hey,
listen. This is our greatest year. We're having great success.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. And to watch them struggle and lose and then make all the excuses, it's just for Cougar fans. You got to understand this is the greatest football season ever. It's wonderful. We're going to revel in it, and you know what? We should revel in it and not be talked down to by a TV anchor.
No, okay. Well, I'm just saying. I'm not trying to talk you down. I'm just saying you can enjoy you can enjoy it more if you spend less time worrying about.
I'm enjoying
worrying
it.
about the other.
I'm enjoying it plenty. I mean, like I said, I was moments away from clicking on signing up for that stupid Big Ten stream just to see it. Hell, I even flipped on the app to listen on the radio to see. God, if this goes the way it's going, I want to hear old J-Ham. I can't believe we just lost to a D2 school.
I love your tweet, by the way. I love your tweet when you said, come March, this is the win that's going to move them into a top.
I'm telling you, when the committee is arguing on that final weekend, and you're watching the selection show on CBS, and old Gumbel's up there, and he's like, I don't know how this committee leaves Danny Sprinkle and the Huskies off the one line after that big victory over SPU. Yeah.
Oh man. Puck, I throw Fridays at you because I throw a lot of questions and concerns. I just threw a concern out about Coug fans. You don't seem concerned, so that's fine. Continue to,
concerned about what? I'll tell you what I'm concerned about. I'm concerned about tomorrow. That scares the shit out of me, that game tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that one. I'm moving on with tonight.
Okay.
The focus is tonight. And the high school state playoffs begin tonight. 16 teams left in 4A, 3A, 2A. By the way, the podcast earlier this week, on Puck Sports, if you missed it, a great preview with Manley and Todd Millis. They know their sports well. Got a lot of great reviews across the high school world. But my question to you, Puck, on this one is I've run into about 3 or 4 teams since then where I've gone to practice, did some interviews, and they've gone with the old, we're in state, so let's bleach our hair blonde.
Oh,
I don't get it. Can somebody explain this to me? You played all season with brown or black hair, and now since you're in state, you feel like you need to bleach your hair. Why do they do this?
Just to be, I don't know. I saw it last year. The baseball All-Star tournament. They all did it. Everybody did the same thing.
I don't understand it, to be honest with you, because you got holiday pictures coming up, Thanksgiving time's coming, and look at that kid with the blonde hair in the picture. But to each their own. It's high school kids. If I'm complaining about that, I guess that's not too bad. But good luck. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun night. We will be at Federal Memorial Stadium tonight. The Decatur Gators will be hosting Mount Tahoma. Should be a good little battle. So I'm excited.
And that's a great story for people who don't know. Decatur has never been to the state playoffs.
The coach, Puck. I was talking to the coach 2 days ago.
You get corrected?
No, 100% correct. They have not been to the state playoffs. And to take it a step further, he took his senior class into the gym last February. So they would have been juniors last year getting ready, for weights and things like that. He took them into the gym at Decatur High School, and he had them look up into the rafters. And Decatur has every sport up on the gym, and there's a big football banner, and it has their league championships. And football was the only sport that didn't have one single year up on the banner.
Yeah.
So basically, they'd never won a league championship. And he said, let's change that. Let's make some history. And sure enough, they found a way. They won the league title. They're 10-0. It's not going to be easy in the 3A ranks. There's some really good teams, but I'm excited for this team and excited for Mount Tahoma. So good for them.
That's great.
And it's a great coach that says dream big, but if you want to dream big, we got to figure out how to get there, which means you got to work hard. So, and they have. So.
It's a great story. The old SPSL Decatur was in our division, Kent Ridge. We are KR, and they're always good at basketball. Never good at football. But if you want to go catch up, the high school football playoff preview show, myself, Chris Egan, John Manley of the TNT, and then Todd Millis of ScoreBookLiveWA. Go check it out. It's those 3 guys. I said it during the show that we did. It's up on all the platforms: YouTube, Apple, Spotify, PuckSports.com. These guys are so knowledgeable about all these teams. I mean, we covered it all. 4A, 3A, okay, which was primarily what we went, and then we did 2A, and then when it gets to 1A, 2B, and 1B, we kind of boxed out for Todd Millis. And Todd, broke this down better than anyone He just knows everything about it. And so if
He
you are a
starts
fan,
he starts throwing out players' names from Nia Bay. I'm like,
it's remarkable.
I'm not going to say a word here.
He's so knowledgeable. He's so good, and it's just a fun watch and fun listen. We all four of us love high school sports, and Chris, you've been covering it all the time, every single week for years and years and years. And Todd and John just continue to carry the torch for high school coverage in this area. John just killing it for the Tacoma News-Tribune. Go subscribe if you haven't.
Well, and I'm going to say that, Puck, right there. You know, a lot of people sit there and complain. You know, they'll come up to me, Egan, King 5's the only TV station covering it. And I'm like, okay, back to my sentiments about the Cougs and the Huskies. All I can worry about is King 5. I can't worry about the other stations right now, so I'm not going to worry about them. I'm going to focus on King 5 covering. But you have a lot of parents out there and businesses saying, Egan, we need more positive on the air. We need more positive in the newspapers. Well, you know what you need to do is support people like Todd and John so they can continue to do that. So don't try to go rip off John Manley. Just subscribe and help him out, because that will help get more positive out there. So you don't have to sit there and read about a teen shooting, a teen going to jail. You can read John Manley's article about a teen from Enumclaw helping upset number 8 Kennewick. You know that. So you have to go out there and support the people that are covering these events. And John and Todd are two of the best in the best in the Pacific Northwest. So
tell me about your before you go, your Safeway adventure. You're like my son. You and my 11-year-old son are the same. You have a love affair for chicken tenders.
Yes. So my wife's we usually try to get to Safeway on Monday for Cheap Chicken Monday, and we load up with his chicken tenders for the week. Missed out on it on Monday. Schedules got busy. Coaching 2 teams, basketball, soccer. We got work going on. The wife's, doing her real estate stuff. So I didn't get to Cheap Chicken Monday. So I told the wife, I'll go on Tuesday and just get them some chicken tenders for the week, because you know what, Puck? The modern kid doesn't want peanut butter and jelly sandwiches anymore. They don't want Hostess Twinkies. I don't know why. You got to get chicken tenders or special things. So I go to Safeway for chicken tenders only. 6 tenders. It will take care of them for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I get my 6 tenders, and then I'm getting ready to leave, and I see spend $100 and something and you can get a free turkey. I don't really need the turkey, Puck, but at that point, Safeway they've reeled me in with their advertisement. So all of a sudden, I'm running around the store just buying things. I get up to the cash register. My good buddy Sean, he's like, Egan, you're about $20 short. You gotta get back out there. So I'm literally like, okay, hold my food here, all for a free turkey. And I don't even know what to do with the turkey, because I don't even cook Thanksgiving. Usually go to my mom's house and the in-laws' house. But
I love a good turkey. We need to have a turkey more. Yeah,
we got a turkey. So kind of they got me there. So get out there right now if you want a free turkey.
Free turkey.
And I bring it home, and my wife's like, I don't know what you're going to do with that. But I'm like, well, we got it, honey. So there you go.
All right. You're going to be all over the place tonight, Decatur, Mount Tahoma. What do you got the rest of the weekend? I mean, you got...
on the anchor desk tomorrow and Saturday, Sunday on the anchor desk. We got a big, the Washington Premier Thunder have a huge game, 10 a.m. on Sunday at Mason Middle School in Tacoma.
Good luck.
Yeah, it's going to be a big one. I'll be back on the anchor desk on Monday, and then working on some prep zones as well. So yeah, it's busy time. You got Sounders cracking nonstop, Seahawks.
Great.
Busy time, but good times, Buck. So yeah.
Way to help out your teammates, Sylvie. Okay.
I think he's on the road to San Francisco for the big rivalry game down there.
Yeah. All right. You're the best. We'll see you next week. Chris Egan joins us every single Friday. Thanks, Chris.
Thank you, Puck.
All right, Chris Egan from King 5. Once again, brought to you by Fat Zach's Pizza. Chris Egan joining us every Friday. 3 locations in Sumner, Puyallup, South Hill, home of the original No Big Dill Pickle Pizza. Fat Zach's Pizza, boy, they've been doing it for a long time, and they've been doing it great. Fat Zach's Pizza, a one-stop. Look at this pie here. Look at this pizza here at Fat Zach's Pizza. Their menu, you can order online. They got a food truck. catering, all of it, locations, specials. They're all doing it. Follow them on social media at Fat Zach's Pizza. FatZachsPizza.com brings you Chris Egan every single week. Again, all brought to you by Fat Zach's Pizza. 3 locations, Puyallup, South Hill, and Sumner. Home of the original No Big Deal Pickle Pizza. Book one of their 3 food trucks, catering, birthday parties, graduations, corporate events. Find Fat Zach's Pizza on Facebook and Instagram, FatZachsPizza.com. Follow him on Twitter and Instagram at Chris Egan 5. All of his work at King5.com. This episode will be up on YouTube in case you missed it or you came into it late. When you're there, please subscribe. That would be great. Leave a comment. Also up on Apple, Spotify, wherever you find your podcasts, and of course up at pucksports.com.